Okay, great. We're right now on Facebook. So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and thank you for your patience. Just give us 1 second for Facebook to get this video visible to everyone. We've been having some technical difficulties, but I know it's going to be a great session. So just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to get this video out there. Okay. Perfect. So I have it on your page now.
Okay.
Yes, please. And so I just have to put this in Pacific, the company.
Yeah.
Perfect. I have it on Pacific now. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We are about to get this started. We had some technical difficulties. I have to apologize that we're coming in a little bit late. But like you know, it's the right message for the right day. So just hang on tight with us. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. And please let me know where you're joining us from. Thank you. If you can see us, let us know. Thank you for being here. Welcome. This is great. This is great. Okay, we're live on Facebook. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. I have it on your page. Did you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so welcome, Kiki. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to get this started because we are already very late. And so we're just going to go ahead with the deal of the day. So welcome everyone to the Civilized Presence, and you are in the right place at the right time. My name is Louisa Akaiso, the author for Civilized Leader. And this is the Civilized Presence. If you're just here for the very first time, Civilized Presence is an online TV session where lives are changed, where people discover their self, purpose, and voice, and learn social skills that is required to thrive in the real world. So welcome, Santa. It's good to have you in the house. Welcome. We're slightly late, but I'm going to be your host for today. I'm a master civility trainer and a leadership coach and expert with the John Maxwell team. So this is the Civilized Presence. We're here every Mondays and Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern time. And of course, we have special sessions on Saturdays, just like this one. So if it's your first time, you're in the right place. And thank you so much, Santa. Thank you for being here from Kenya. It's great to have you here. Now, the main goal of this Facebook series and Instagram series is really to help restore civility through meaningful and constructive conversation. And we've been doing this from the month of April last year. I haven't been working alone. I've been working with different experts and leaders from all over the world, just really breaking it down into tiny bits and showing you how important but simple it is, or easy it is for you to be civil. And you can begin with little things like saying please and thank you, or good afternoon. Hello, sister. It's great to have you here from Nigeria. Thank you so much for being here. Now, how many of you have had a chance to say hello to your neighbors before? Sometimes we don't talk to people who are not our family members, and that's why we're here every week. And you can hang on with me and try to hang out with me every Mondays and Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern time, and some Saturdays. Yesterday we had a really terrible weather here in Virginia. Of course, we had a 2 hours delay. So we're here today on Saturday. It's a great session that we're going to have this morning. And it's the right topic because it's either you're affected directly or you might have someone who needs this message. So do me a favor, step out for a moment and just share this video on your page. Invite your friends and family and your neighbors too, and your enemies. That's fine. Hello, Tiffany. It's great to have you here. Hello, Annie. It's great to have you in the house. Yes, so let me share with you a definition of civility. And if you see me kind of looking around, because we have different systems all around. Hello, Men Trump. It's great to have you here. And so we have viewers from everywhere. It is a global audience right here. I appreciate all of you for always hanging out with me. But do me a favor and just comment in the box below and let me know where you're joining us from. Is important because I want to be able to shout your name out and recognize you as a VIP that you are. And hello, Beatrice, it's great to have you in the house. Mentrum, Aniti, it's great to have you in the house. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, I will share with you a definition of civility, and this is from Dr. P.F. Forney. That's what I've chosen from today, for today. Hello, Teresa Davis. It's great to have you here. And he states that being civil means being constantly aware of others and weaving restraint, respect, and consideration into the very fabric of this awareness. So civility is focused on positive people's treatment, being responsible for your actions. Civility is gracious goodness. It has to begin with you and I. It's not for some people, it's not for any special person. It's something that we have to, I'm encouraging you to embrace it as a lifestyle. And welcome to the new month. This is the month of March. And we are just going to be marching along with a lot more civility awareness. If you were here with us last month, you would have noticed that the theme for last month was civility, philanthropy, and giving. Because of course, the month of February usually is known as the month of love. I find that anyone who has never said I love you before, they try to do that to at least one person on the 14th. And welcome, Helen. It's great to have you here from Canada. Welcome, Izzy from Canada. It's great to have you here. Hello, Muriel, my friend. It's so good to have you here. Hello, Coco. It's great to have you here. Welcome. So guys, do me a favor. If you see anyone just saying hello, try to say hello to them. Try to spread some love. This is the civilized presence, so we have to learn how to be civil. And thank you so much. Do us a favor by sharing this video on your page. The topic of today is suicide prevention using civility. So let me just go back to what we're doing this month. It's the month of March, and the month of March really is the month of the International Women's Day. So we're going to be celebrating women all over the world. Women are so powerful, and we at the Civilized Presence acknowledge them, and we really love them. So this month we will be having a lot of sessions that are focused on women. We'll be working with a lot of people who are empowering women or young girls. So if you are a women's advocate, or you have someone in your network that we should be able to feature here that's doing some great work, it would be great to speak with them. So I'll let you know before the end of the session how you can be able to reach out with me. So we have the big topic of today, suicide prevention using civility. Now, suicide is really the leading cause of death. And the number one cause of suicide is untreated depression. Every day we have people who are depressed. Okay, so we're trying to, in this session, we're going to share with you how fostering civility can help to mitigate stress or excessive anger or dehumanization, which may increase pressures on the hearts of suicide victims. So you can agree with me that civility is needed now more than ever before. And welcome, Beth Maranga from Kenya. It's great to have you here in the house. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Njoroge, it's great to have you. Susan Ngugi, it's great to have you. And if I do pronounce your name wrongly, please, really forgive me. Let me apologize at the beginning of the show, and I'm going to try to do it as much times as possible so I can get used to it. But I want you to know that I really do love you, and I appreciate you making our time on a Saturday afternoon to be here. Some of us are joining from Africa, so it's already nighttime there, and we have people from Asia, from the UK. I can see the UK here. I can see Canada here. Welcome. Welcome, Hannah. It's great to have you in the house. So let me tell you about this beautiful lady on the screen. You're going to see her shortly. We're using the Zoom today because we tried out with Be Live for quite some time and it just wasn't working out. But we have to bring the message of today. It's very important, so we have to switch to Zoom. So just come in and just let us know where you're joining us from, and you know, how did you get to the show? Did you respond to the flyer, the post? Did you find it on your friend's page? Let us know. Let us know that you really love what we're doing and be part of the conversation. We're trying to make it conversational. Everyone should be part of it. If you want to be able to contribute, type it in the comment box below, and I'll be so excited and ready to be able to read out and appreciate you for what you've shared with us. So our guest for today is Grace Wambui Ngere. Grace, I hope I got it right.
Yes, you did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to do it a couple of times and I should get it right before the end of the show. So she prefers to be called Wambui.
Yes.
And Wambui is a registered nurse and the founder of My Story Show and Initiative. She has worked in the healthcare sector for over 10 years and serves within the church as a leader in various capacities. My Story Show features on Pacific Waves International Radio, and we are right there on their page right now. So you're going to have a lot of people joining in from Pacific Waves International Radio. And on Wednesday, they're broadcasting in Kikuyu language.
Yes.
Great. And on Fridays in English language. So if you don't speak Kikuyu, join her on Friday and she's going to share the same exact message with probably somebody different on Fridays. So My Story Show and Initiative specializes in giving people hope and healing to victims of suicide. And let me let you know that oftentimes we find that no one wants to talk about stress or depression or how they're feeling, which can sometimes lead to premature death, especially self-inflicted death. From an experience in being in those shoes. So of course, Wambui is excited to share with you because she's also going through the pain of losing family members and friends. And this is why she started up this organization and is so passionate and determined to make sure that, no matter whatever circumstance that she finds herself or what part of the world that she finds herself, that she's able to bring support to people who are going through this. And welcome, Tiffany. It's great to have you here. Beatrice, Omar, it's great to have you here. So please do me a favor, guys. Welcome, Sikoni. It's great to have you, my friend. I'm so excited that you're here. Now, do us a favor by giving us some likes and some hearts. But let me tell you what the likes and heart means. It just means, Grace, you're doing an amazing job. I love your message. I love what you're doing. We're right here supporting you. Thank you so much for what you're doing. So give us the hearts. Give us the love. It's very important. And tell us how much you care about that. And I can see Tiffany says, Eunice, Shiku, Miguai, Maria, Miwaki. I hope I'm pronouncing everyone's name right, but it's great to have all of you here in the session and you are in the right place. So just keep sharing some love. I can see Beth Miranga, who is doing amazing work in Kenya. It's great to have you here, my friend and sister. Hello, Job. It's great to have you here. Thank you so much. So we're going to go back to this session. Now, in this session, we're really trying to share some more light on why it is so important for us to discuss and create more awareness about the concept of suicide prevention, how you can become an ambassador, a suicide prevention ambassador in your community. You don't need any special training. We're going to let you know how you can work with Grace and her team and what she's doing. And really, you would learn about protective factors and how you can help any victim that is going through all of this. So let me take a moment and allow Grace to say hello to the audience. So over to you, Grace. Can you just say hello to the audience?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Great. We're so excited that you're here. So guys, like I said, be happy to share with us whatever information that you have. We are so excited to have you here. Now, let me let you know, I found some really interesting data, and I want to be able to share that with you. Suicide rates are rising across the world. So for example, in North America, it's up over 30% since 1999. Can you imagine? So there's a reason why we really have to work on this. And I find that with girls and women, it has increased by 50%. And a lot more women and girls and young people are trying to attempt suicide. And of course, with the research, they're still trying to find out what is increasing the rate of suicide amongst women. They're still working on that. But I thought I should share that with you so you understand that there is a reason why we have to speak about this so much and why people have to get comfortable with talking about this and why it is your responsibility to be able to support someone who is going through this. Because sometimes when you're going through certain things, we find it very hard to talk about it. We keep it to ourselves and things get worse and get to a point that you're not able to be helped. So I want you to know that right here in the Civilized Present, and of course, Grace Wambui Ngere is doing an amazing work with My Story, and she's going to share with us all of the work that she's doing. So thank you so much for all the compliments of telling me that we look good. Thank you so much. I am of African descent, and I thought it was so important for me to look African today because I have my African sister in the house. And what better way to represent our culture, our beautiful culture, was to have the Ankara. I don't know how many of you know about the Ankara, but that's what I have on my hair, and just kind of putting it all together. So just showing you that yes, we're sharing the concept of civility, but we also want you to know that it doesn't matter what race, what culture you're from, your life is valuable. I don't care if you're white, blue, black, green, or yellow, it doesn't matter to me. What I want you to know that your life is very important and we have to take care of it. And we're here to support you to take care of your life and be responsible and just appreciate the skin that you find yourself in. So I'm going to go back to the session. So Sister Grace, how this works really is getting started with the questions, and we begin the conversation. And if people have a question in the audience, they bring it on and we just continue going about it. So my very first question to you today would be, what does civility mean to you? What is civility? What is the golden rule? Whatever that you're comfortable with, what does it mean to you? Over to you, Sister Grace.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Louisa Akaiso, Miss Louisa Akaiso. First and foremost, I want to thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to come to your platform and be able to pass this message, because I believe each and every one of us need to be civil enough to learn things and knowledge and be able to move on with life, no matter what it throws to us. And so I really do appreciate you for thinking about me. You saw me on My Story show and we connected and we started talking and we're here now. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Before I answer what civility means to me, I do want to also commend you for the work that you're doing. It is really great. You know what? We cannot do this by ourselves. We cannot be civil by ourselves. We have to hold it. We have to uplift each other's gift, our talent. And when we all hold hands together, we're gonna do mighty things, and a lot of things will be accomplished, and a lot of people will be saved. Because when we go out there to the community and being civil and being able to bring our talent, our gifts out there, we're able to reach out to, even if it's only one person, which is one of the goals for My Story. We can save even if it's only one person. And so you're doing great.
Thank you.
Yes, Miss Louisa, I can see my fellow fans from Pacific Waves International Radio here. I'm gonna tell them a little bit about you because you just talked about me. It's a little bit different from your norm.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, because you have already inspired me just going through your pages and the little bit we talked, you inspired me. You are a coach, a trainer, you are a consultant, you are a director, executive director for John Maxwell Academy, our team. So, you know, for a woman having all those titles, and you're even an author for the book called The Civilized Leader, I do really think that is great. And it is a challenge to fellow women. And I don't talk only to women. I talk to everybody. We all have something we can give to the community. And you're doing that, and I do commend you and tell you to keep it up, and let's do this.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so civility for me, I am feeling, and I did read about PF Foni on your website. I really liked when he said goodness, gracious goodness. It's just, it's
Yes.
all about very simple. It's all about being good. Hello, how are you? Thank you. You know, being courteous, being responsible, being respectful, having good manners. It's that simple. How it is to me, how when I went and studied about it, that's all I got in simple terms. It's being respectful, being courteous, being having good manners, your actions, and then you show that to others. And then you know what? It comes right back to you. It comes right back to you. And also, it also opens a dialogue. It opens a dialogue the way you're doing. When you bring this session to people, it is a dialogue, and people learn. It opens up people's minds. What can I do? And you know what? Before I even saw it on your page, I never thought of it. I never thought that we can talk anything about civil, being civil. And so you opened up, you brought another light there. And so simply put, on my terms, it's being courteous, being respectful for others, and being
That is
compassionate.
perfect.
As you also are emphasizing on that page too, being compassionate. And when you're compassionate, that's why you have even the being able to come to this show like this to listen and learn, and then
Yes.
you can be able to reach out to that one person who might be in a hole right now and feeling like we don't have a purpose in this life.
Thank you so much, Grace. That is powerful, and I really appreciate you for all of your great and wonderful words to me. I really do appreciate you. And yes, civility, it's based on being respectful. The 3 R's of being civil is respect, responsibility, and restraint. Empathy, like you said, is one of it. Compassion, courtesy, being polite, gracious goodness. And I would also add on human kindness, because sometimes people are good to people because they expect something in return. But here in Civilized Presence, what we teach people is that we want you to get to a place where you're good to people and expect nothing in return. Be good to people because they're human. Be good to people because you chose love. Be good to people because they deserve that. So it's so great hearing from you. And thank you so much, Beatrice. So civilization means being good, being honest, and with love. Thank you so much, Beth Meranger. Gracious goodness, absolutely, being respectful. Thank you. So we're just going to go back to the deal of today. Now, some of you might be asking, what is suicide? And I haven't heard about suicide. Now, let me share with you some of the warning signs of suicide. So maybe you might call it suicide, maybe you might call it something else. But sometimes the warning signs of somebody who's going through that or about to consider that is one, they might be talking about suicide. I'm going to kill myself. I wish I were dead. I wish I hadn't been born. I don't think I'm good for anything. Or they might try to withdraw from social contact and they want to be left alone sometimes. Or you might notice that they exhibit mood swings. They kind of like maybe they're depressed this minute, the next minute they're happy. Or they're being preoccupied with death or dying or violence. Or you find that some of them are expressing, sorry about that, they're expressing feelings of being trapped or hopeless. And sometimes you find that there's an increased use of alcohol and drugs in the life of some of these people. Or you also find that sometimes they would say they're saying goodbye to you or talk to you in a manner that suggests that you might not see them again.
Yeah.
Or they might try to engage in a risky or self-destructive behavior, maybe like using drugs, maybe like or driving recklessly. Now, these are some of the signs that you would see and notice in people. And the minute that you notice those signs, you need to do something. Because if they harm themselves, then it's too late. If you notice the sign, there's nobody who wants to commit suicide who's going to have a placard and put it on their forehead and said, I'm about to kill myself. There's nothing like that. I've never heard that before. No. these things develop over time. We have to pay attention.
Yes.
And that's part of what we do in Civilized Presence. We teach you to be responsible for your actions, be mindful of the person next to you. Step out of your comfort zone. It's not just about you. Try to notice what's happening to your neighbor. Try to notice what's happening to a friend, to somebody in your community. And welcome, Harifa. It's great to have you from Ireland. My friend and sister, it's great to have you here. So you have to be responsible for whatever is happening, for easing the experience of the person next to you. I'll give you an example. Last year sometime, we lost the famous designer, Kate Spade, and it was all over the television. And within 24 hours, a lady came on the screen to say she was her close friend, she was her closest friend. And she said, oh, I noticed that in the past 2 weeks, she's been sad. I was very upset at the time because if you noticed that she was sad in the past 2 weeks, what did you do about it?
Exactly.
Did you try to have a conversation? Did you find out how you could ease the experience and the way she was feeling? Did you try to get other people involved? Did you try to call her friends and family? Did you try to call on the suicide support line to have a look at what is going on? Did you try to call her doctor? Did you try to take her on a walk? What did you do?
Yeah.
If you show up on the screen 24 hours later to say you are her close friend and she was sad in the last 2 weeks, that doesn't make any sense to anybody. That's not going to help anyone. That's not going to bring her back to life. So before these things happen, and hello, Roland, it's great to have you. Before these things happen, you have an opportunity to be able to save somebody's life. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So Grace, I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk to us about how did you get started with My Story show and initiative, and what motivated you or inspired you to begin to work with this group of people? Over to you, Grace.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you for putting that out there right off the bat. I had planned to mention the signs of suicide. And one, I would say, that is what you just said. You see a change in somebody. You see, one boy has been doing this thing and now she doesn't do anymore. One boy used to dress up nicely, happy and everything, busy in church and all these things. Now she doesn't do them anymore. She's always in bed, so recognizing that is being civil enough and going to reach out for that person. Sometimes they don't even need a lot of things. They just need an ear. They just need a person to talk to them. So you see, I have changed. If you see your friend have changed, your sister, your family member, anybody, go reach out, talk to them, text them, do something. So how I started, I've had friends, I've had family members who committed suicide. And I remember one of my family members, he used to say things that we really didn't know what he meant until it happened, And that's a long time ago. I was actually a small girl still in, we used to call it primary school, or over here it's elementary school. But, as I grew up, one of my friends at work, when I was all grown, like a few years ago, one of my friend's sister killed herself. And it was so devastating to her. And that's one of the other things, the victims, the people who are left behind, it is so bad on them. And when people kill themselves, we don't remember. We don't remember who are we going to leave behind. And we cannot blame them anyway. At that particular time, they don't know what they're doing. And they're crying for help. And that is what we need to see. And then I started feeling I need to do something about it. And also it hit me one time. And I'm going to give a little story about what happened. And I know it happens to a lot of us who are in the diaspora. It doesn't matter which area you are in, because I know a lot of us here are people who are immigrants. So when I came here, life was very difficult. I had a good job. My husband had a good job, and he's online, Miss Louisa. He's online. His name is Job. I had you.
Oh, great. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, so when we came, he had a good business. We had 1-year-old son, and I had a good job. So we were not rich, but we were not poor, so we could be able to afford things, everyday things. Okay. So, but when we came here, we had to be hosted by somebody. God bless her heart and bless her always, because she did so good for us. But then life changed, and it's one of the things that makes or risk factors, as we will see as we go. One of the risk factors when things change, when life happens, when life events changes, dramatic life events. And that is what happened to me. I used to go to work in the morning, come back home in the evening. I'm home with my family. We are having fun. We have dinners. The little things, we have dinner together. I'm here in America. The first 3 months we are hosted. We have to rely on somebody. After that, we move to our place. Life here is very expensive, high class, when it's, especially when it's in the beginning. You don't have good education. You are not earning a lot. So you have to work double shifts. I think you've heard of that, to make ends meet. And so you find that somebody had to work at night, the other one to work in the morning, so that every time one of us is watching the kid, you see. And so all these life changes was very hard on me. And then also we decided to go to school. And so I would go to work in the morning, at 4 p.m., come back home, go to school, and then come back home at 9 p.m. And then my husband leaves the kid with me and he goes to work. So it was over and over like that. We never had time for each other. It had a toll on us, and me specifically. And as life continued and I got even another kid, it was very difficult for me. Nothing was working for me. And I started stopping doing things that I used to love, just as we just said. Stop doing things I used to love. I never got diagnosed medically that I was depressed, but I feel like I was. I didn't want anything. I didn't want even the light. I just wanted to be in the bedroom, in my pajamas, sleeping all day. I stopped going to church. I love to sing. I stopped singing. And so, to cut the long story short, one day I was fed up. I was fed up with that kind of life. I didn't feel like I belonged. I didn't feel like anybody needed me. I didn't even feel like my own child needed me. My children, and by that time I had two. And so I walked to a park, or I drove to a park and started just walking. And I just was feeling this is the end for me. I want to end it right now. But you know what? There's some infinite power. There's some power somewhere in this universe. You might believe in God, you might not believe in God, but there's a power that's put in us that made me turn around. And I thank God, because when I turned around, I turned around 360 and for good. And that with time, I learned to take care of myself. I learned to take things simply, And then when I decided to start this mission, one day we were at home. We were very active in church, and we had this church group, youth group. And as we are talking, it was 31st December of 2017. And everybody is giving their testimony. And as they do, everybody was talking about how one time in their life they wanted to end their life. And I was like, oh, wow, listen to these stories. Amazingly, I did not give my story that day. But amazingly, everyone who talked or spoke kind of, I resonated with them. I felt something in them, I felt a relation. I felt a connection with them. And so right there with another friend of mine later, we decided, because I had always talked about starting a talk show. And at that particular time, I said, you know what? I think this is the name of the story, of the show. And we call it My Story. Meaning everybody has a story that they can tell. And the goal is to come, we relate with these stories and give hope. How did you get out of your story? How did you rewrite your story? That's the main thing. How did I rewrite my story? I rewrote my story from that deep, dark hole to a bright future. I look forward to bright future. I look forward to helping other people more than anything else. And somebody who might be there with me, who immigrated to this place for greener pastures, but they found things that they never expected to find. And so that is how my story was started.
Thank you so much, Grace. That is so inspirational. Thank you for sharing that story because everyone does have a story. And I wanted to know that, it's normal to feel sad. Sometimes we feel down in the dumps or depressed once in a while. But the ability to be able to get yourself out of what you're feeling, that's where it gets difficult. Or having the right support system to support you and try to guide you and give you hope for, make you feel like you're worth something again and give you a reason to continue to live. It's very important. And sometimes, like you said, when people move to a different country, they find it hard to get the right person to be around them, somebody to speak to. And so you might not have planned, this is not something that you planned or designed it for it to happen, but one thing leads to the other. And welcome, Edward, it's good to have you. And Karanja, it's good to have you. Taps, it's good to have you. Tiffany, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. Guys, please get in the comment box and let us know what country you're joining us from. And it's so good to have you here this morning. My question for everyone is, are you having a thought of hurting yourself or someone else? Or do you know anyone around you who is having that thought? And we shared some of the warning signs, and you're wondering, how can I be of help to this person? You're in the right show. Do us a favor, step out for a moment and share this video on your page. Invite as much people to be part of what we're doing. We're here having a conversation and talking about how you can be helped. Yes, we've also mentioned that women are more likely than men to attempt suicide. Do you know a woman who is sad, who is troubled, who feels so shriveled, like she should not be living right now, who is tired of living or giving life another chance? Invite them to be part of this session. Or if you're here, listen well and be able to learn great tips on how you can help those people. Now, Grace, I'm going to go back to you now for a second. In my story show, how does it work? I have also listened to some of the people that you worked with. I've watched you and interviewing some of those people. What goes on? What's the process of being on that show? And what kind of people do you work with? Like, do you have to go through it personally, or can you introduce somebody else or suggest someone else, or how does it work? What happens to within the My Story show? Over to you, Grace.
Okay. It's very simple. A lot of people sometimes reach out to me. You're asking how they come to the show, how I do this, right? Yeah. A lot of people, when they see the stories that people give, they feel, wow, that's me right there. That is me. I went through something like that. I want to come and talk about it, and it's very simple. That's what they say, and we either on the phone or we inbox each other, and we just plan when they're gonna come on the show. We do a lot of encouragement, biblical encouragement, and so that has been also very inspiring to a lot of us. I also do kind of reach one-on-one. If somebody is going through something. Sometimes they do reach out to me, and I do encourage, even now, I do encourage people to reach out. Because as you said, when you're new here, or even you're not new, or whichever country you are in, because there are so many people who are not from the country they were born in, they go through a lot of changes, a lot of things, a lot of a heartache, and they don't even know who to talk to. And maybe they can just reach out to you, Louisa, and on your inbox, and they just tell you, I'm going through these things. And evidently, or as time goes by, you just find you guys will be chatting. This person just needed somebody to be chatting with. And it encourages this person. Because most of the time, people who are at that place, they are crying for help. The signs and symptoms that we see, they're just crying for help. They just need somebody to notice them. And when such a person reaches out to you, please don't ignore them. Talk to them. Send them that text once in a while. How are you doing? Just initiate a dialogue. Be civil to that person. and just initiate a dialogue. That is all. That is all we do. We do also do, I've had sessions where I met with people in their houses and with some of the people we work with, and we just talk. We just do, we just talk. It's like, I would call it, like the AA meetings.
Mm.
Yeah, so apart from talking on live shows on TV, we also like to see people face to face. And so
Great.
yes, and we try to encourage each other, because that's also, most of the time, that is what we need to see. I can tell you, there are people who I have talked to, and because I still talk to them, they're still here. And that's all I
Mm.
want to hear. You're still
Mm.
here. That is,
Mm.
then my story goal is accomplished. If that person, I'm still talking to them. Versus when I started talking to them, they were telling me, this, I'm done. And some
Mm.
people were even referred to me by friends. They would like screenshot messages they had sent to them, And so, yeah, that's how we do it.
Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you. And I appreciate what you're doing. Really, even going to visit these people and work with them one on one. I think that's remarkable. And guys, listen, if you have someone who is attempting suicide, sometimes you find that they're in a wrong relationship,
Mm,
sometimes in a wrong marriage, sometimes in the wrong job.
yeah.
There's something that leads to that. Now, Grace, I have another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do when we have someone around us who is going through this and we notice the signs? What can we do to help this person? Over to you, Grace.
Okay. One of the things, or maybe I should first say, why should we prevent suicide anyway?
Okay.
Why should we do this program? Why
Mm.
should we talk about it? Because nobody talks about it. Simple. We don't want to
Mm.
talk about it. It is a stigma. It is a taboo. Most of us from different communities, we don't talk
Mm.
about something. They're just a
Mm.
taboo in our community. You don't
Mm.
say somebody killed themselves, but not talking about it doesn't mean it's not there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So when we are able to talk about it, we are able to stop premature death. We are able to stop even cost, because when we have these people, do you know a lot of times when people attempt suicide or they are going through these things, a lot also are hospitalized
Mm.
after attempting and not dying.
Mm.
So statistically, I had some statistics I had planned, but I'm thinking time might not be on our side. But statistics show
Please
that,
share with us. Share with us. Yes.
okay. So this is very sad.
Mm.
Every 40 seconds, one person dies through suicide.
Wow.
And in those 40 seconds, one person, 20 people are contemplating, 20 people are thinking about it.
Mm.
Think about that. That's big time reason for wanting to decrease it,
Absolutely.
right? That's why we need
Absolutely.
to talk about it. And that's all we need to do. Create awareness. If
Mm.
somebody is not diagnosed medically with mental illnesses, and by the way, mental illnesses is just half.
Mm.
A lot of people who attempt or commit suicide successfully are not just people who have mental disorders.
Mm.
Half of them is just, as you have said, relationship problems. Others, it is loss of jobs.
Wow.
Others, it's drug abuse or substance abuse. Others is health problems. Maybe you've been diagnosed with cancer or a sickness that you never thought you could get sick. That devastation leads you to that point. Others is housing problems or legal problems.
Mm.
Basically, life stress. Stress, which also now goes and leads to depression. And then now when it's diagnosed, it is depression. And stress sometimes we can take care of stress. Stress can be good and can be bad. But the good one helps us fight, okay? But the bad one is if you don't take care of it, you get stressed over and over again, as I was. and then it leads to depression, and now you can't leave the house, you just want to be in that dark hole, then that is a problem. And that is when, if we see such a person, we need to reach out to them. First, we can refer them to hospitals or a clinic nearby them. I always tell people, whichever country you are, whichever location, go to the nearest clinic. Let this person be checked out. Okay. And then the other thing is what I have said, reach out to them, talk to them, be texting them all the time, call them, reach out, reach out, reach out. You cannot reach out to me. Even if I ignore you one time, I'll talk to you. Okay. Just show them love, show them there's somebody who wants them, because most of the time they feel like nobody really needs them. Okay. And like they are a burden. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, you did. And welcome, Paris. It's so good to have you in the house. Welcome, Louisa, from Canada. That's another Louisa. It's great to have you here in the house. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome, Bruce. It's good to have you here in the house. So if you're just joining us for the very first time, the topic of today is suicide prevention using civility. We want you to be able to care for more and more people. And of course, our guest, Grace Wambu-Ngere, has shared with us all the work that she's doing through My Story to support victims and to be able to get them started with having a conversation or trust in being able to be open or even access some kind of health provider. She's doing a lot of work and she cannot do this alone. So I encourage you to be able to support her. It doesn't matter what part of the world that you're in. You can still contact Grace and find out what to do. Some of the things that I would love to share with you is really to be able to facilitate an open communication with these people. Start up a conversation and try not to be judgmental. Listen, when someone is going through the pains and trials and thinking about suicide, is not the time you're asking them, why did you do it? Why do you want to do it? That's not the right time.
No.
That's not the right time, because you could be making things worse.
Yeah.
What you have to do is offer them some form of reassurance. Let them see reasons why they should be here. Share with them some of their successes, how good they've been, how their lives is going to impact somebody else, make them feel encouraged why they should be here. Another thing that is so important that Grace had mentioned for us is really to help that person get assistance. Because when they're going through something at that point, they're blanked out. They're blanked out thinking about going to look for any form of assistance. When you're focused and your mind is grained on doing something, even if there's some form of assistance, you're not even thinking about it because you're all focused on what you want to do. So you might have to help them. Maybe call the help number. I don't know if you're in North America, you can call the Prevention Lifeline. They're all online. You can call them directly. If you're on Facebook and you're here, you can contact Grace Ngere, send her a message on Facebook. She will be happy to take it on. Or you can
actually have that number, the national
prevention
number for
Please share with us the number.
Yes, it is 1-800-273-TALK, as in
Okay.
TLK, or 8255. So 1-800-273 or TALK. You can also text to crisis text line, which is 741-741. And if you are internationally based, you can go, as you just said, you can go to Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And there's a website there. You click on that, it's going to direct you to your own country. You can even just type on the search there, your country, and it's going to show you all the resources. And these lines, they are confidential. They are 24/7 open. Nobody will know what you're going through except them, and they're going to help you. They'll lead you to the best sources for your help. But don't.
Yes, and I'm going to. Okay, sorry about that. And I'm going to add on something that you should never, ever keep someone's suicidal feeling a secret. Because sometimes when people are ready to do the wrong thing, and you're trying to have a conversation with them, the first thing they're going to say is, please don't let anybody know. Don't let my mom know about it. Don't let my sister, don't let my husband, don't let my wife know about it. Do not do that, because you're not helping them.
Mm.
Try to get as much people to be able to support them.
Mhm.
If you are, blessed enough, and I call it blessed, if you're blessed enough to have someone around you who is ready to open up and talk to you about how they're feeling and what they're going through,
Mhm.
do everything you can, because you don't know how long this person has. You
Yeah.
don't want to leave them for 1 minute. Make sure that you get some form of help for them before you walk away.
Mhm.
And don't keep it a secret. Let everyone know about it.
Mhm.
So Anne Karanja is saying, please post the website here. So if you can go ahead and post the website, Grace and Gary, please go ahead and post the website. People are interested to know about this. And Alicia Unso, thank you so much. Yes, you're late to the party, but that's okay. It's great to have you in the house. You can have access to the replay of this video. So, and encourage that person. If that person is already taking alcohol or drugs and has gotten into some kind of habit, encourage them to avoid doing some of those things, but try not to be judgmental. And so do not expect anything in return at that point, because they're helpless.
Mhm.
At that point, they're helpless.
Yeah.
So don't start saying, okay, I'm doing this because I want you to do this back for me, or I'm talking to her and she's not behaving well, or I'm saying something good and she's rude. Listen, at that point, they're helpless. They need you to be responsible and take control of the situation. Do not expect them to have good manners at that point. Do not expect them to say the right thing to you. They need your help, they need your support.
Mhm.
And so I just want you to know that whoever is going through this, whoever is going through any form of pain, whoever needs somebody to talk to, right here in the Civilized Presence, we are happy to speak with you. We're happy to have a conversation with you. You can send me a message on Facebook, or you can send me an email at Louisa at the civilityacademy.com. It's Louisa at the civilityacademy.com. And let me know what is going on with you. Let me know what you're going through. Let me know if you want to have a conversation. Let me know if you're going through a difficult time. And we're happy. And I want you to also know, if you use an iPhone, that we have a suicide prevention app now.
Mhm.
There is a
Yeah.
suicide prevention app. So even if you don't feel like talking to anybody, go right to your app store, download the app, click on it. Somebody will be right there to talk to you.
Mhm.
So you see, you have all forms of help around you. So if you think that you're getting swayed into mood swings and you're not able to control yourself, you're spending longer times being depressed and just a feeling of, I want to take my life. I don't think I should be here anymore. Why am I wasting time? I don't want to see anyone anymore. You're so angry and depressed. You walk into your workplace and you're so upset and you do not want to be in that toxic environment. Talk to someone. Don't try to do it on your own. People who tried to do it on their own ended up dead, and that was it. Talk
Mhm.
to someone, open up to speak to someone. We're happy to hear from you. Grace has an amazing platform that she's working with this wonderful group of people. She's ready to send you help. She's ready to work with you. And if you have a story and you know that your story would be able to empower someone, if you have an overcoming story, if you have a story of how you went through it and how you were able to succeed, we want to hear from you. We want you to be able to inspire other people. So get in touch with me. It's Louisa at the civilityacademy.com. Now, a lot of you just said that you're just joining us. Yes, this is the Civilized Presence. Usually we're here every Mondays and Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and on Saturdays we're here at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So, of course, we're going to be back again on Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And what we do every Mondays and Fridays really is to help restore civility, the concept of civility, creating an awareness of why it's so important. And if you do not like the word civility, you can use the golden rule, treating others the way that you want to be treated. And this is what we do all the time. We're here on Facebook, we're on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at So Unique Experts. On Facebook, my page is So Unique Experts. You can follow me as well. You can send me an email, Louisa at the civilityacademy.com, or you can send me an inbox, and I'm happy to speak with you. I'm happy to connect with you. At the beginning of the show, I let you know that this is the month of March. and we are focusing on doing a lot of sessions for the women and girls. So if you or anyone in your network is doing great work for women and girls and inspiring them, empowering them, bringing them hope, bringing a smile to their faces, taking away pain from women and girls, get in touch with me. Send me an inbox, send me an email, however that you want to do it. And welcome, Eno. It's great to have you here. Do not struggle alone.
Yeah.
You have seen the main causes of suicide is depression that has not been treated. So nobody walks around thinking about committing suicide. And welcome, David, my brother. It's great to have you here. Nobody walks around thinking about suicide, but one thing can lead to the other. The only thing that we can do is to be able to be responsible, is to be able to be mindful. Look around your environment. If you notice that people's attitude has changed, the way they behave has changed, the way they are receiving things has changed, their reaction, their habits has changed, make sure that you try to have a conversation with them. Make sure that you try to get some form of assistance with them. But respect their feelings, okay? Do not go harsh. Do not be judgmental. If you see someone who has just increased their intakes on drugs and alcohol, have a conversation. If you're struggling with it, if you don't know how to go about it, reach out to us. Reach out to me, Louisa Akaiso. Reach out to Grace and Garrett. She's right here on Facebook, and she wants to hear from you. Together, we can do it. We cannot do it all on our own. But we need as much people. And we spoke about becoming a suicide prevention ambassador. You are an ambassador because you joined the show. You are an ambassador. You don't need any formal training. You have all the information in this video. So all you have to do is save this video, share it with other people, watch it over and over again. We've shared some great nuggets, but the one word that I will say to you this afternoon is take action.
Take action.
Hear all the things that we've said, all the examples that we shared, but if you do not take action, you cannot save somebody. And all of this is for the power of one. If you can save one person's life, the world will be a better place.
Amen.
The rate of suicide is decreasing every day. What can you do to make the world a better place? Think about it. Watch the people around you. Is it people in your family? Is it your neighbor, your friends, your family? Or is it your enemies too? Watch them. If they're beginning to get out of order, call us. Speak to somebody. Okay, that's why we have to hold our hands together. I have Grace and Garrett here. She's originally from Kenya, but she's here in the United States, and she's saving lives all over the world. You have the helpline. We left the number in the comment box. And if you're just joining us, you can look back at what we've been doing here. And thank you so much, Job. It's great to have you here. Thank you so much for your support for my sister and all the work that she's doing. Thank you so much. So guys, we've come to the top of the hour, and really, I hate to let you go, but we have to go because we've come to the top of the hour, and I have to be civil so that Grace can come back another time, because if I do not treat her well, she might not come back. So, but I am back here again on Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time with another great topic, with another great leader, just like we brought Grace today. I'm sure you enjoyed the session. Give us some heart and leave some kind words to Grace, and just let her know that you love the work that you're doing. You support her. I've seen a lot of you give us some hearts. Thank you. I've seen some of you saying, Grace, you're doing an amazing work, but do more. Stop by on her page and just appreciate her. That's what we want to see. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of the Civilized session today. Thank you for spending your Saturday with me. And I hope to see you again on Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Bye for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Grace, to you, I want to say thank you. Big thank you to you for being here, Grace. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you for having me.